90% of people who start working out gain inspiration from Brad Pitt in Troy or Daniel Craig in Casino Royale. However, as they start training and working out, they start to follow a routine and a system which does not give them the results they want, and they end up stuck and they end up plateaued. It's often pushed by the fitness industry that in order to get into really good shape and to look like some of these movie stars and actors, that you need to be in the gym to 5 to 6 days a week, every single week, and that you need to be eating a super strict bland diet, just eating chicken and broccoli the whole time, just to look good. The reality is that this narrative is actually completely false, and this is not going to get you the results that you want. So in this video, I'm going to tell you how you can effortlessly build your dream Greek god physique today. So the first point is to do with your training. So a lot of people who start working out follow splits like the bro split or push-pull legs, and I've found that over time, after trying all these different exercise routines, that the best split you can do is a 3-day split per week, which is an upper body split on Monday, a lower body on Wednesday, and then an upper again on Friday. Now the reason why this works so well is because research has shown that if you hit each muscle group 2 times per week, this is absolutely perfect for muscle growth. And that anything above this is actually just going to lead to destroying your rest and recovery, and it's going to lead to you putting on muscle less efficiently and at a slower rate. So I found that if you do 2 upper body sessions per week, this is absolutely perfect. You're giving your body 72 to 96 hours each time to actually fully recover. So every single time you go back and you hit the same muscle groups in your upper body, you're fully fresh, you're fully recovered, and you're ready to go. And this is really going to help with your strength gains in the gym and your muscle building. Now the reason why I only work out legs once per week is because this actually helps to build into that frame and that physique that you're trying to build, where you look like a movie star like Brad Pitt or Daniel Craig. You can see that these guys actually don't have really large tree trunk legs. So this is an issue which a lot of people fall into today, where they follow a routine where a lot of their total potential muscle mass is actually eaten up by their legs, and it starts to overshadow their upper body, and it actually doesn't really give them that masculine V-taper look that they're aiming for. So I found that training once per week is absolutely perfect for this. It's going to mean that your upper body is going to stand out more, your legs aren't going to start to overshadow it, and also I found that once you do this, you actually have a lot more strength in your upper body, which therefore means that you're going to get the results that you want a lot better. The next point to do with training, which is absolutely essential, and this should be the forefront of all of your training workout routines, is the idea of progressive overload. So this is the concept where each and every time you go back into the gym, you should be increasing the amount of stress that your muscles are under, which is going to force your muscles to adapt and grow. So this could mean that each and every time you go to the gym and you load up on the same exercise, you increase the weight by 2.5 kg. Or it could mean that you just do an extra rep in the gym. But if you can constantly have that aim in mind of just increasing the amount of weight that you had or increasing the amount of reps that you did last time when you did that exercise, this is going to mean that your strength is going to go up, and if your strength increases, it's directly correlated to an increase in muscle growth. So the only way that you can actually create hypertrophy, create enough stress on your muscles to actually force this growth, is just by increasing the amount of stress and load that your muscles are under. So progressive overload is absolutely key, and it's essential if you want to build muscle. So one key point around this is that so many people go to the gym and they keep on changing up their routine often. And this is okay if you're a beginner for the first couple weeks, where you can do whatever you want and you can still make muscle. But once you've started to lift for a couple weeks or months, you really need to start sticking to the same exercises for 6 to 8 weeks in a row, because this is how you know whether or not your strength is actually improving and whether or not your workouts are productive and actually working. If you keep changing up the exercises, it's very hard to actually track this and track if you're making progress, if you're increasing the weight, or if you're increasing the amount of reps you're doing. So I therefore highly recommend that you pick some exercises and you stick to them, and you really focus on improving your strength on these key exercises over the course of 6 to 8 weeks. So the final point to do with resistance training is have a strong focus on intensity over volume. This is something which a lot of people get wrong, where they really focus on the amount of sets they're doing or the amount of reps they're doing, and they actually don't pay attention to the intensity. So the way I like to train is to where it's what it's called 1 rep in reserve. So this is where you've actually really trained up and you've lifted up until you maybe had 1 rep left. So for example, you did 5 reps and you maybe could have done that 6th rep, but you know that that would have been a really tough, hard rep to do. I recommend just going until you're doing 1 rep in reserve. And the reason why this is so effective is because if you do that last rep and you go to failure, it causes way too much fatigue, and all of the subsequent sets in your workout are going to be significantly less productive. So the total stimulus you're getting from that whole workout as a whole is going to be lower. But it is important to note that if you're not training up until 1 rep in reserve, you're just not putting on enough stress on the muscles, and you're also not going to grow. So this is where it's really important to make sure that you are training intensely enough and you are really pushing yourself. But I don't recommend going to failure just because this is going to set you back for your subsequent sets. It's also important to note with rest times that if you've actually really pushed yourself and exerted a lot of energy, your rest time should be at least 3 to 5 minutes. So many people get this wrong, and you see them rushing between sets and exercises because they think they need to do more than they actually do. Whereas the reality is that you actually need to give your body enough time to rest in between sets so that you can recruit motor units and recruit type 2 muscle fibers, which is really going to help boost your hypertrophy and actually boost the stimulus that you're getting from that workout. So do 3 to 5 minutes per rest time, and don't go on your phone, because if you go on your phone and you start doom scrolling, your mind's going to be elsewhere, your focus is going to be taken away, and that's really going to affect your level of motivation. So if you can do these key steps, your resistance training is going to really improve, and you're going to put on a ton of muscle really fast. When it comes to cardiovascular training, I think that doing high intense cardio is actually not beneficial, and it's not really going to help you. And the reason for this is because it creates excess amounts of cortisol on your nervous system. This is really bad for testosterone, for your energy, and also for muscle growth. And it's also going to lead to your fat loss being less efficient. So instead of doing high intense cardio sessions like hydrox, marathon running, like a lot of people do, I highly recommend, if you want to burn fat, the most effective tool you can do is actually walking. So if you can aim for 10,000 to 12,000 steps per day, this is absolutely crucial, and this is really going to help burn all that fat. And the good thing about walking is it doesn't actually create an excess amount of cravings and hunger, like some other high intense cardiovascular activities like running, marathon running, and intense sprints. So this is going to burn a moderate amount of calories. It's not going to increase your hunger. You're not going to overeat and start snacking because you're not going to have any additional cravings. And it's also going to really help progressively slim down on some of that fat. I do also recommend, on top of this, just doing a little bit of zone 2 cardio. This could just be anything like a steady incline and walking at about 4 to 5 speed on a 4 to 5 incline on a treadmill at the gym. And the reason why this is so helpful is because this is going to release endocannabinoids in your brain, and this is really going to boost your mood and your motivation. And it's just going to make you feel so much better throughout your week. Moving on to nutrition. The most important thing to note with nutrition is to not fall into this counting your calories and counting your macros scam. The reason why this doesn't work is because it's pushed in the fitness industry that you just need to hit a certain target and you'll build muscle. Whereas the reality is that your body is not a maths equation. So if you just put whatever into your system just to try and hit a calorie goal or a protein goal, this is really going to backfire, because a lot of these calories and proteins are sourced from additives, sweeteners, processed foods, and chemicals. And all of these things are going to mess up your gut microbiome, your digestion, your metabolism. It's also going to have a huge impact on your testosterone and your overall hormonal health. It's going to also lead to you having a lot more cravings. Your sleep quality is going to downgrade, and overall, it's just really going to have a complete negative impact on your life as a whole, and also on your body's ability to build muscle. So if you want to support muscle growth, you need to make sure that your sleep quality is great, your hormones are in the right place, and your digestion is really where it needs to be, so that you can actually absorb the nutrients that you're taking in. So if you ignore this advice, you're going to find that your body's going to burn fat and build muscle significantly less efficiently, and more of the calories you take in will be attributed towards fat gain instead of muscle growth. So building on this point, it's absolutely crucial that you source your food from single ingredient, natural, organic whole foods. So for protein, this would be things like lean meat, like steak, chicken, some dairy, like eggs, and organ meat is absolutely essential. For healthy levels of fat, I would be looking at avocados, I'll be looking at olive oil, ghee, healthy levels of butter, and also some dairy like raw milk and also eggs. And then for carbohydrates, I'd be sourcing a lot of this from sourdough bread, which is a natural form of bread, which is very healthy for you, and also fruits, vegetables, potatoes, avocado, berries, etc. So if you can source your diet from natural ingredients, what's going to happen is you're going to find that the nutrient density in this food is really going to help benefit not only your muscle growth from the amino acids, the levels of vitamin and minerals, etc. that you get out of these nutrient dense food, but also your mood is going to significantly improve, your hormones are going to completely balance, and your testosterone is going to skyrocket, and overall you're going to get less cravings and you're going to feel more full from this food. It's really going to help boost your metabolism, your gut health, your sleep. Everything in your life will improve. So that's why it's so crucial that instead of just counting calories, if you actually look at what the calories are that you're taking in and you try and make these as healthy and nutritious as possible, it's going to lead to you feeling so much better, and it's going to give your body the essential nutrients to actually support muscle growth. So once you do this, you'll find that you actually don't really need to count calories, because you've actually just given your body the fuel that it needs to really excel and to really perform. And I found that when I started doing this and prioritizing the quality of my food instead of counting calories and macros and not worrying about the food quality, I found that my physique really started to take off, and that I didn't even need to worry about hitting a goal or hitting the amount of calories that I'm taking in. So if you don't want to track calories and you just want to build muscle, I highly recommend that you have heavy, nutritious food, which is really natural, sustainable, organic, and is going to massively help improve your muscle growth. It's also really important with macronutrients that you don't pay too much attention to just hitting your protein goals. Research has shown that once you hit protein at 0.8 grams per pound of body weight, this is all the protein you need, and anything above this is not actually beneficial and it's not going to help you. So I therefore recommend that aim to have your meals structured around having a healthy source of protein like steak, eggs, and chicken, and then around this have a balance of fats and carbs. If you drop out fats or you drop out carbs, you're gonna find that your testosterone is gonna absolutely crash. And having high testosterone levels is absolutely essential to build muscle and to also have low levels of fat. So make sure that you keep a balance of carbs and fats. If you drop these, it's also going to make you so much more hungry throughout the day, and you're more likely going to binge eat and crash out on your diet. It's also going to lead to you having so much less energy. Your mood is going to drop, your serotonin and dopamine levels will significantly be affected. So it's a really big mistake to just focus on protein, and it's absolutely essential that if you want to be very healthy and also maximize your muscle growth and your energy that you're going to get in the gym and your motivation to go work out, it's absolutely essential that you have a balance of fats, carbs, and proteins. This is really going to make effort feel so much more enjoyable, and it's going to boost your progress in the gym significantly. So the final point is just to make your diet more enjoyable. If you have a diet which you can't stick to, like what they push in the fitness industry, where they just say to meal prep chicken and broccoli and rice the whole time and just have bland, boring meals, you're not going to find it enjoyable, and eventually you're just going to crash out on your diet and you're just going to quit. So instead of having a super strict diet like keto and carnivore, which is pushed online, which never works, it's essential that you ask yourself, can I stick to this diet for my whole life? And if the answer is no, then you shouldn't be doing it. So you need to have a diet which you can stick to, which you find super enjoyable, so that you can create a process that you can stick to for your whole life, and you can consistently stay healthy, build muscle, and burn fat. So my final point comes to rest and recovery. And you may have noticed that doing my workout routine, just doing 3 days per week, I had a day of rest in between each workout session. Now the reason why this is so helpful is because not only can your muscles get fatigued, but also your nervous system can get fatigued as well. So your nervous system, your central nervous system, is essentially your brain and spinal cord sending nerve impulses into your muscles to activate your muscle fibers. So if you do subsequent workouts in a row consistently, what happens is your nervous system can actually get fatigued, and when you go to work out on these subsequent days where you've worked out the day before, you're gonna find that your ability to recruit muscle fibers and to recruit motor units is actually severely compromised because your nervous system is still recovering. So that's why it's essential to actually have a day of rest in between each workout, so that when you go and you work out in the gym each and every time, your nervous system's fully recovered, you're ready to go, and this is really going to help improve your strength in the gym, which is going to lead to more gains. So the second point is to do with stress management, specifically the hormone cortisol. If your cortisol is constantly high, then your body and your nervous system is going to constantly be in a state of fight or flight instead of rest and recover. And if you want to actually recover and really build a significant amount of muscle in a short frame of time, you need to make sure that your nervous system is more often than not in that rest and recover period. If it's in fight or flight, your body is in a high stress zone and it's not going to have the essential relaxation that it needs to actually really build muscle growth. So the reason how you can actually minimize cortisol is I highly recommend getting really sufficient levels of sleep. This is absolutely crucial. If you get really efficient levels of sleep, not only is your serotonin and your dopamine levels going to improve, but also this is where you build 70% of testosterone, and it's where you build a significant amount of your muscle growth. I also highly recommend going outside and getting some sunlight. Once you get sunlight in the morning, it's going to spike your natural cortisol production even more. So in the afternoon, your stress levels are just going to dip and you're going to be in more of a relaxed state where you tend to get more sleepy, which is also really going to help with your circadian rhythm as well. I also recommend don't scroll on Instagram as much. Don't waste your time doing things that aren't productive, like watching TV, because a lot of these things actually can really spike your dopamine and spike your cortisol to unnatural levels, which is not going to help you with muscle growth. So one final point to do with sleep is to make sure that you have consistent morning and wake times. That means that you need to pick a nighttime routine which you can stick to long term. Research has shown that some people are genetically determined night owls, genetically determined morning birds, so it doesn't matter which category you fall into, it just matters that you're getting a proper 8 to 9 hours sleep every single night at the same time. If you're going to bed at different times on the weekend, or you pick a routine that you can't stick to, and you're constantly changing up the night time which you go to bed and changing up the time that you wake up, it's going to lead to a significant detrimental effect in your testosterone production and in your muscle growth. So I highly recommend just pick a nighttime routine you can stick to. If you're a night owl like me, this would be later in the day, closer to midnight, and then just go to bed at the same time every single day. If you can structure this so that you wake up naturally without an alarm clock, this is really going to help benefit your testosterone and your muscle growth, because your body's going to wake up naturally when it's had enough time to rest and recover. So 2 key bonuses which you can implement, which are non-essentials but are really going to help to boost your physique a lot more, are cold exposure and sunlight. So cold exposure is really going to help activate your mitochondria, which is going to lead into your body's ATP system, which is really essential for energy. This is going to give you more mood, more energy throughout the day, and especially when you go into the gym, effort is just going to feel so much better, and it's really going to help improve your performance in the gym. It also creates a thermogenesis effect, which is really going to help you burn fat. And lastly, to do with sunlight, getting outside in the morning, getting your sunlight in, this is great for your mood, for your energy levels. It's going to produce vitamin D production, which is going to really help boost your testosterone even more, which has been proven to absolutely be essential for muscle growth. So if you can do these 2 key bonuses, this is also really going to help just improve your lifestyle and your physique as well. So this is my guide to fully build your dream Greek god physique, where you don't have to count calories, you don't have to go to the gym 5 days per week, and you can eat a really healthy, nutritious diet which isn't going to restrict you and isn't going to destroy your mood and your energy levels, just so you can look good. So if you can follow these steps in this video, you're going to find it absolutely effortless to just build up your dream physique, get in the best shape of your life, and at the same time, you're going to enjoy the process.